everybody out there, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of 123 Podcast, NXT edition, episode 24. Holy crap, it's been a couple of days. We finally got to cleanse ourselves from Raw, and now we go into a much better show. Brant, how are you? And tell me you enjoyed this so much more than Raw like I did.
I choose you, Bayley, too.
Damn it.
Sorry.
This hat. I give up. I need other beanies. I fell in love with wearing beanie hats now, so now I've got to go I have a collection of baseball caps, even though everybody just sees me wearing Nightwing. I have a bunch other that I wear off camera. I need to get a collection of beanies now.
Sorry. I couldn't resist. No, yeah, this is the best week in wrestling. I mean, best show in this week in wrestling for me, hands down.
I would like to mention, though, a few people did comment on 123. I don't know if you saw any of them, but I think DNGN said it best, and he's like, I like you, Brent. You're a good guy. I don't want you to watch the Raw episode. I don't want you to suffer through it. I will quote it as soon as I get it, because I thought it was so nice the way he put it. It was so nice after this show. Let me just get it. I have to get it up. I'm the load up show in my videos.
Just while you're pulling that up, I did not watch it, so we're on.
Thank God you sir survived.
Yeah.
You lived another day because you didn't see it. It was so bad. Let's see.
Thank you all.
Okay, 123 Podcast. Thank you, Daniel Bryan. And opening comments. I'm sorry it's taking so long, everybody.
It's all good.
Okay. Deanne says, Brant, you're a good man, so please don't suffer the burden of live Raw recording. At this point, I'd consider it to be more torturous than waterboarding.
Wow, that's pretty torturous. Well, thank you for sparing me torture, and I'm ready to talk some NXT. Let's put Raw aside behind us.
I wanted to mention that comment.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, I'm just saying, now that it's all said and done, and everybody agrees that I don't need to watch it, we'll talk about some good stuff.
Absolutely.
But before we get to that, we got some sponsors. We got Tim Tams.
And I've got individually wrapped chocolate chip cookies.
Now these things, I've never had these things. As far as I know, they're an Australian treat, and we found them at Target. So I've taken the liberty of tearing one in half to try it. It's chocolate and caramel. Very good.
Hello, everybody. Right. I'm Chris. He's Brant, and welcome to Tasting Zone, the show where we taste things.
Exactly.
We should do that. If Japan Crate or any other food crate would like to sponsor myself and Brant and send us boxes, we will do we'll do shows where we literally will taste all the food in your subscription box. Everybody in the comments, send this video to them.
I recommend Tim Tams, people. They're pretty good.
I don't know who makes these chocolate chip cookies, so I don't care. I'm just going to eat one and see how it tastes. It's soft.
It's a cookie.
It's a cookie. I think they'll stop eating it.
Dead air because we're chewing food.
Dead air. Oh, speaking of dead air, episode 30 of 123 Podcast, while I'm eating so rudely, episode 30 will be the first episode on SoundCloud, because SoundCloud is starting first week of March.
Yes. So, from that point on, and with that episode, we are combining Raw and NXT back into one show.
Mm-hmm.
So you get one, huh?
Audio-wise,
yeah. So audio-wise, we get just one show a week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are we going to do that? It might
it
be
would have to go
video-wise
after.
too. The numbering would be different on YouTube. We'll have to do it both or neither. We're working this out on air.
It's not on air. We'll have to talk off air after all then. But we are working on some special additional stuff.
Yeah.
Put on one of the episodes.
Yeah. Either way, first week of March, episode 30 and forward are going to be available in audio format as well as video.
Unless we just call it 123 Podcast, episode 30 and 31.
we'll see. We'll talk about that afterwards. So, are you done with your cookies?
No.
All right, good. Because we get some stuff to talk about.
Well, it's all you for the first thing, which is about the cracking of the tooth.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention this real quick. This has nothing to do with NXT. It's TNA, but it's this female wrestler Raquel. She goes by the name of Raquel. You guys would know her as Gabby from Tough Enough, the latest season of Tough Enough. And she wrestled a girl named Regina, and I'm not sure because I don't watch TNA.
No.
Apparently, whoever she wrestled took it pretty hard on her, and we've heard stories before of wrestlers taking stiff punches at rookies and stuff like that. But this was taken a little bit too far because she got a cracked tooth, a broken jaw, and she's got these heavy bruises on her face and on her back and everything.
Who was she wrestling?
It's some woman named Regina. I don't know what her ring name is or who she is. I have no idea. But yeah, she looked pretty banged up. And, it's wrestling. You're going to get banged up. But it seemed a little excessive to me. But who knows? Who knows?
That's hard. That's a hard way to say, hey, welcome to TNA.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But she looked pretty bad. So, hopefully a speedy recovery. Yeah?
Hopefully speedy recovery. I agree with you. But another reason why TNA might not be needed on TV anymore.
Yeah. And just to know about something we talked about last episode, Titus O'Neil, his suspension, has been reduced to 60 days.
Yippee.
Which is still a lot longer than you would get for substance abuse, so whatever. And WWE released a statement about this.
The dumbest statement.
The statement read, "The suspension of Titus O'Neil had nothing to do with race and everything to do with unprofessional conduct."
So, in other words, for those of you people out there that are black, we didn't suspend him because he's black. We suspended him because he did something that Vince McMahon thought was misconduct.
Yeah.
No one I know, black, white, Asian, blue, because there are people I know that are blue, don't ask questions. Do not ask questions. Brant, you might know one of them. And not one person said they did this because Titus O'Neil's black. If you guys look at the roster for Raw or WWE, NXT in general, they have a lot of black people, and they don't get suspended.
No, I mean, we even made reference to, it happened during Black History Month, which was not the best time in the world. But we knew even that then it had nothing to do with that. It was I knew it was going to get blown out of proportion just because of that, the timing of it all. And, but for WWE to release a statement about that, they should have not even addressed that
race
could possibly be an issue at all. So
it's just Vince McMahon is a pain in the ass. That's the reason why Titus O'Neil was. He's never going to hire us anyway, Brand. So I'm not worried about losing the job. Vince McMahon's a pain in the ass. He didn't like the way a segment looked, so he suspended Titus O'Neil. And Titus O'Neil at least was nice. If it's true, he replied back going, "I understand what I did was wrong. If you have to let me go, I completely understand." If that really was him, he's the bigger man. But honestly, Vince is such a hard ass. Get out of here. Vince, I think it's time to mosey on off into the retirement home.
So, in actual NXT news, as we get into this, well, at least I assume it's going to be NXT, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, who are the other two members of the famed Bullet Club, along with Finn Balor and AJ Styles, said their goodbyes to New Japan. They're done with New Japan. They're coming. Also, with Shinsuke Nakamura is already on his way. He's expected to be at NXT TakeOver Dallas or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So now these two, they're done with New Japan, so shouldn't be long before they come, and who knows what's going to happen then. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. I'm not a big fan of Doc Gallows. I don't know if you ever saw him. He was with...
I think DN told me to check out. He gave me a name on the last NXT we recorded to look up because he did a match recently.
Okay. He was... You probably didn't watch it at the time, but when CM Punk was doing the Straight Edge Society thing...
Okay.
He was his recruit or whatever. He was with him. He was also Festus, if you ever saw Festus, but you probably didn't. because I think these are both before you start watching again.
Yeah, even Straight Edge, I remember just listening to that. I
Yeah.
never watched. I was done.
And
I
then
was done after DX.
yeah, and then he was in TNA for a while as part of Bully Ray's group.
You know what NXT needs? Shark Boy. I love Shark Boy.
If it was and that's the fishing line, because Shark Boy said so. That's it. And Carl Anderson, I'm not familiar with at all. So, but it's cool either way. Sorry. And our last piece of news is
That's a piece of news.
Yeah, NXT star Riddick Moss got knocked out cold during a house show in Jacksonville, Florida, I believe, during a triple suplex. It was like 6 guys and 3 took the other 3 over in a suplex, and when he landed, he was just out cold. And there was a video clip somebody filmed with their cell phone. Reportedly, he's okay, so no worries there. But it had to be scary.
Being the 6th man up, yeah, I would be scared too.
Yeah. So.
And the first one, he's the 6th one up and the first one down. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And there will be another little piece of news about Cameron when we get to that match later on.
Oh, awesome. I gotta say though, before we get into tonight, Raw had, I believe you said, the most match it's had in a very long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, NXT had 5 matches, one being a championship defense match, and they did better than Raw did with 12 matches. This night was excellent. I'm talking night and day. I watched this episode today on purpose, fresh in my mind for you guys for 123 Podcast, and man, oh, it's such a pleasure watching NXT. I hope all of you out there that are suffering through the main WWE have the WWE network. It's $10 a month. If you love wrestling, I'd say do it because there are a lot of other awesome shows on there. But NXT, for those of you that are getting really upset with the way Raw and SmackDown, which ironically SmackDown was better than Raw this week, NXT is such a pleasure to watch. And the star, I feel like I'm invested more in stars like Bayley, like Finn Balor, what's his name, Apollo Crews. Yeah. Even though I hate Baron Corbin, Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
They just have more people that, and not the ones that I just said before, not the ones that aren't tag team that are going for the tag team.
Enzo
and Cass. I mean, come on. And they got such good phrases. They've got really good catchphrases. And they're doing this to try to make their way up. I tell you, you should send WWE stars down and send these people up. They'll bring Raw and SmackDown good money, man.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't have the network, which, shame on you, but NXT actually is on Hulu.
So it is?
Yeah, you can watch it on Hulu. I don't know if it's always been, but it is now because I see it pop up in my feed.
Oh, sick. So look at that. If you have Hulu, look at that. You can watch Raw, you can watch SmackDown, and you can watch NXT now. You must be happy that you just heard that. Check it out on Hulu then.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. But yeah,
what did you think? Yeah, okay, you were going to do it.
Oh, yeah, no, this was a fantastic night of wrestling. I actually loved every match, even though some were better than others. I just had so much fun with this episode. And, I love the main event. The main event was my favorite. But we'll get to all that.
Yeah, I think the main event really, it was action-packed, and the ending, it didn't end on a predictable ending. It didn't end on like, oh, we saw this coming. It actually ended with a bit of a surprise, actually. For me, it was.
And I love that it's not just one. We'll get to it, and I don't want to give too much away before we get to it, but I love that it's not just one person in that whole mix. It's like several, and you got. It's going to be very interesting to watch that develop.
It is.
So yeah, go ahead.
There you go. So the night opened up with Baron Corbin, who's still pissed off that he is not even in the number 1 spot anymore, and he went up against Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
I only think I've seen him wrestle 3 times so far in NXT, and all 3 matches he lost because he went up against somebody you knew was going to win because he's pissed off or he had something going on that he had to win the match.
But he held his own against Baron Corbin, which I thought was really cool. He had him on the ropes a few times.
I thought he had him when he was out of the ring. Remember when he did that? Oh God, it was something, and then he almost got the pinfall, and then he rolled out of the ring and walked around the ring for 1 lap.
Right, and then when he got in, he caught him at the end of days.
End of days. And that was the end. So Baron Corbin won, but Johnny Gargano, man, he needs to get pushed a little bit further up. He shouldn't be losing all of his matches. He really has a fighter's heart, so to speak.
Yeah. And speaking of Baron Corbin, I've been watching Breaking Ground here and there, and I'm like 3 episodes behind, but the most recent episode I watched, if you guys watch it, you'll know which episode I'm talking about. Scott Hall came and mentored them for a week, and he specifically worked with Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin, he was just kind of talking to him like, as a big guy, try to use that a little bit more. And he likes the fact that he looks like this guy that works out every once in a while, but it's not like, muscle bound and stuff. It kind of goes for him. And he gave him advice saying, and he was kind of talking to everybody, but Baron Corbin was kind of interacting with him at the time. But he was basically saying, the fans at home, they don't know how much money I make, but if I start acting like I make a lot of money, if I start acting like I'm the man, I become the man. So act like you're the man. And, he was Baron Corbin was kind of absorbing all that kind of stuff. And that's good advice,
So
too.
in other words, act like you're making big money and you know that you're big shit.
Exactly, and that's what Scott Hall did. When, that's how Razor Ramon got so big.
That's right, the bad guy.
That was his whole character. So it was really good seeing him, healthy and in there giving advice, and he looked genuinely happy to be there helping them too.
I'm just so glad Scott Hall, he was in such a dark place a couple of years ago. DDP, and I can't praise, there are many superstars that I look up to this day, and I looked up to, Roddy Piper was one of them. I never looked up to Lex Luger, and now I'm glad I didn't. But Sting was another person I looked up to, Ultimate Warrior. The ones that actually stayed positive in and out of the ring. Hulk Hogan was always in it for the look. If you're a Hulkamaniac, that's great. If you're, follow The Rock, that's great. And if you like John Cena, that's great. But honestly, I don't know. Actually, John Cena does a lot of Make-A-Wish things. So John Cena does actually do as much as, there's slack on him and the way he acts and kisses up to Vince. Beside that, John Cena does do, and I got to give him his due there. He does do for the fans and for children who are sick and people who are dying. So I can't knock him down for that. I'll knock him down for kissing up to Vince so hard that his face is going to turn brown one day. But beside the point, Hulk Hogan and Rock, I'm sorry, but they're in it for the money and they're in it for the limelight, and we all know that. So.
Okay, we'll okay.
No.
I don't know if I agree about that with The Rock, but okay.
With The Rock, you don't agree?
I don't agree.
What do you think The Rock's doing it for?
You think he's just doing it for the money?
Oh no, I think he's doing it for the limelight and the money, and for the fun of it.
I don't necessarily.
I don't know if he's for the fans. I question it sometimes if he's for the fans or if he's more for himself.
I think it was a little of both. I mean, I think you have to be in it for both. And I think, he decided at some point, I don't want to keep hurting myself to the point where I'm Hulk Hogan with 8 surgeries, so I'll go do something a little bit easier that I can make a lot more money. And he does.
Good point. That's true. But, I forgot my point completely. I lost
You looked up to DDP. That's where you're going.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But, DDP was another person. He took, he left wrestling, started DDP Yoga, which was a huge positive, and then he just started motivational speaking as well. And he's definitely one of the superstars I look up to that, he went for wrestling and he did something positive with what he, with his popularity and with what he had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look at Xavier Woods. I hate him in the ring, but outside the ring, he has up, down, down. And yes, it's affiliated to a point with wrestling, but he actually said in one of his recent videos, oh, God, that it's not a wrestling channel. Like, somebody asked him why up, down, down can't be found on the WWE network. He said, that's easy. This is a gaming channel. This has nothing to do with wrestling. It has nothing to do with WWE. The stars of WWE are in it, but it has nothing to do with wrestling. This is a gaming. This is for gamers.
You should watch some other stuff he's in. He was in an episode of Swerved on the network, and he was He's done some. He did it like a game night with Heath Slater and Curtis Axel and stuff. And they played that pie face game. Did you see that? And he was like, "Oh, I don't want it on my face."
Yeah, and he played a game with Tyler Breeze recently, and he lost, and he had to get a cake in the face on up, up, down, down. So I understand it.
Yeah. So.
Sidetrack. Sorry, DDP. Awesome person.
It's all right. It's all right. Cool. All right. The only tag match we got was.
Could you explain to me why you're not happy? Because I gotta be honest. Now, maybe it's because I don't know what's really going on backstage. Maybe I missed something in transition. Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, I enjoy their tag team. I like that he's got the energy, and Zack Ryder is amazing as a wrestler.
Okay.
Did I miss something that I should have known?
No, they're a decent tag team. I don't like Mojo Rawley. He gets on my nerves. He annoys me.
Why?
He seems, I don't know. It's just his personality. It doesn't mesh with mine, I guess.
Is it too energetic?
Something. There's something. He would exhaust me, I think, being around him. It would exhaust me, just listening to him talk, even. But no, I mean, he seems like a decent guy and everything. That's fine. The only thing, I don't think I don't think I ever said there was a problem. They have it's because Zack Ryder is still on the main roster, so they don't gel as much as they would like to.
Oh, okay.
And it's that kind of thing. And it's also kind of Mojo's. He's not a rookie, but he's younger in the business than Zack is, and Zack has kind of come down, and he's trying to bring him up, and it's like, when does Zack get his shot to get back on? It's that kind of thing. So I'm sure
okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Mojo's kind of bringing him down, sort of.
Maybe a little bit, but I think it's a mutually beneficial kind of thing because it's got Zack Ryder back in something because he kind of fell off.
Yeah, I think you had him on your top 10 list that you'd be okay if he left WWE, or somebody had Zack Ryder.
At one point, probably, yeah. So it's fine. They were fun. They were good in this match, and I like their finishing move, the Spinebuster and the Rough Rider thing.
Yeah. I like it. They won their match, by the way.
Yeah, they were fighting two nobodies. I don't know. Really,
I don't know them either. I was like, okay, whatever, beat them up.
Two really short guys. That's all I know.
They weren't luchadors, though.
No, they were really short, though, weren't they?
Yeah! It's like, here's Zack Ryder, here's the other guy.
Yeah, the one dude, when he was, like, on the apron, is like he had his arms on the ropes, and he was like, they were up like this. He was pretty short. But anyway,
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with his skills or anything, but he was. He was like Alexa Bliss short.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I liked? I liked the Apollo Crews segment also, where he was interviewed about his match last week, and he said, I learned a lot, and I have a lot to work on, and you're going to see a new Apollo Crews in the ring. I learned from my mistakes. I learned a lot. I learned I'm not ready, so I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm ready. Now, I hope this could go one of two ways. He's going to prove that he's ready by starting to go dirty, or he's going to prove that he's ready and actually wrestle or attempt to wrestle better.
I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I think it's the first thing. I think he's going to turn.
You think he's going to turn heel?
I think he's going to turn, yeah. And interesting thing about him, he was also featured on that episode of Breaking Ground I watched, and Scott Hall was asked by, I think, Regal to give him some advice. So he watched he watched Apollo Crews do a promo, and he walked up to him, Scott Hall walked up to him after, and he's like, do you really talk like that? He's like, just be yourself. He said, you sound like you're giving a promo.
I've got to watch this episode.
Yeah, it was good advice. He was giving really good advice all around. So it was pretty neat.
I've got to see that. This is episode 3 now?
No, I'm 3 episodes behind. So it's like if you start at the very end and go back like 4 episodes, it's that one. It'll say Scott Hall in the description. So.
Okay, so I've got to see this episode now because I'm very curious because maybe they're preparing Apollo Crews to turn.
Maybe. I don't know, but it's interesting. That was my first thought when he said you're going to see a new Apollo Crews. I was like, oh, okay, he's going to turn. But he could surprise me. We'll see.
Either way, I think it would work for Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I do too.
This is my lowest match of the night, but I still enjoyed it. Was Alexa Bliss and Cameron. Now, you said Cameron's moved down.
Yeah, she used to be on the main roster, and she requested to go back to NXT. Sorry.
I can see why.
Yeah.
Because I hate Alexa Bliss, but I found myself 50 halfway through the match rooting for her. And even when the way she wrestled and when she won, it looked like a face one if you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was rooting for Alexa Bliss through the whole match. Cameron, she tries really hard, but you either have it or you don't. And I feel just like Eva Marie, she doesn't quite have it. She's working really hard to get it, and I commend that. But Alexa Bliss,
think she has a chance, though. Eva Marie has absolutely none.
I agree with that.
She's more of that poster person that we saw for Fastlane. That's perfect for Eva Marie. Anything else? No, please, God, no.
But Alexa Bliss has it, whether you like her or not. She has it, and she was really good in that match. I agree. The news I wanted to bring up with Cameron was that she actually may be moving back to the main roster, though. She competed at a live show, and this is going to lead into storylines that are going on right now. She competed at a live show in a 6-women tag match. Guess who she was partnering with?
Oh, Team Bad.
Exactly.
I knew it. She's going to be the new third member,
Yeah.
and she's going to screw Sasha and Becky probably at the pay-per-view.
They were facing Becky, Sasha, and Natalya.
And that's how Natalya is going to come back into the picture, probably.
Quite possibly, so.
I hate when house shows kind of give away what a pay-per-view. If that happens on the pay-per-view now, I won't be surprised.
Yeah. It amazes me that she's called back up because I don't think she's ready.
After seeing this match, I wouldn't care to see. I mean, but maybe she's in a she's in a group, so maybe as a group she works better because she could be like the Xavier Woods of the group, where she wrestles only like 10% of the time.
That's quite possible, yeah. So.
Do you think honestly Xavier Woods is a legit wrestler? I mean, because since I started watching, now again I could be 100% wrong. I have not seen Xavier Woods wrestle much. But do you even see him as a wrestler? I see him as a manager.
He actually wrestled a lot in TNA. He went under the name Consequences Creed, and he came out
that explains why he's called Austin Creed on.
Yeah, he came out kind of like Apollo Creed from Rocky. He wore the flag trunks and had the big fro.
Did I watch him?
And he would do this rolling clothesline thing. It was pretty cool, but.
I might have watched him in TNA back then.
You might have.
Did he have the long hair and everything, or was it shorter?
No, it was like a fro. And
I might have watched him.
He actually teamed with R-Truth, I think, a little bit when he was still in TNA.
I've got to go and check out some old TNA matches.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, he can wrestle, but I think I think they realize that he's not quite up to par with the rest of them, with the other two, so they let those Kofi and Big E do most of the wrestling. And he's better to me, like you said, at ringside because he's kind of an annoying manager type.
He's like a Jimmy Hart kind of deal.
Yeah, in a way.
Except with instead of the horn, he has the actual trombone.
Yeah. Exactly. It's funny.
Back to TNA though. I tell you, man, Elias Sampson. And he versed Jesse Sorensen. Yeah. Sorensen. Who cares about Jesse Sorensen? I don't care about Jesse Sorensen. This guy, Elias Sampson, he walked. I'm just glad they didn't constantly every 2 seconds say he's a drifter, he's a homeless person. He walked in, he just came here, he belongs outside. I'm glad they stopped that. Man, he's going to be like a savage wrestler, I believe.
Yeah.
His personality is very savage.
Corey did still make a few jokes. He's like. Nobody back home has seen him hanging around, but they've seen somebody mention his description in the bar listening to Nickelback. I was like, oh god, that's like a joke from 5-10 years ago. Just
you could fire him, Vince, or Triple H, and you could hire us.
Good, you very well could.
You can hire us for $1,000 a day or an hour. Why $1,000 a day? Am I crazy? I'm worth more than $1,000 a day. Commentating.
I'll take $1,000 a day.
Okay, if Brant will take $1,000 a day, I'm gonna have to go with him because I mean you can't hire Brant without me. We're like a team commentary. Don't you dare offer Brant and not me, because Brant will take the opportunity. He'll take it and be like, "I'm sorry, man. I love you, but $1,000 a day.
Gotta make that bank."
I'll pay you. I'll be like, okay, fine.
Oh, shoot. Nah. Let's go. It ain't gonna happen,
That's
so.
never gonna happen. Nope. I mean, everybody who watches the show, you're welcome to write into Triple H and Vince and, put like a Team Chris Brandt announcer. Like, how they had Team Edward and Team Jacob. This could be Team Brandt and Chris for WWE announcers.
Wow. Now, see, it's not just me. You just made a Twilight reference on a wrestling podcast.
I know, it's okay.
Okay. We're just covering all the ground here.
Hey, there's a new Harry Potter book coming out, too. You might as well throw Harry Potter in the mix, too. There you go. We're done. We're good. 50 Shades of Grey will never see a second movie.
Let's hope not.
Never see a second.
So, main event time. Right? We talked about all the other matches.
Yeah, main event time. Elias, but no, you never told me what you thought of Elias Sampson. I was asking what you thought about him as a wrestler.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear. No, he's good. I like him. I like that he's just he just comes in and does his thing and then walks right back out. It's not like, where he doesn't bore us at all. And he's just kind of this silent type that just comes in and does, after all, what we need is what he is. So.
Exactly.
Anyway, to the main event. Before we get into the main event, which is Carmella versus Bayley for the women's title, NXT title. Again, on that same episode of Breaking Ground, I wanted to mention this because you'll appreciate this. That episode is when Triple H came in and told Bayley and Sasha for the first time that they were going to main event that takeover, be the first women main event.
Oh, so this was recorded a while ago.
Yeah. They were going to be the first women main event in WWE history on a live special like that, and that they were going to be the first women Iron Woman match. So, it was a pretty cool moment to see him tell them that and their reaction, especially Sasha, because Bayley was just kind of like she didn't know how to react, and Sasha was just like bawling. It was just like that's special.
I can't believe I made it that far. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So.
That's going to go down in history. That's the first women's match that literally was a main event, first women's Iron Man match for a title on a live. I mean, I give props to both stars. Now, Bayley smiles a lot.
Yeah, she does.
So her personality and her character, she'll never be able to turn heel. Look, I've been proven wrong. Maybe she can turn heel, and she could just be a smiling heel. But I love her personality so much, I can't even criticize that she smiles all the time. I love that about her. That's what makes me love her character so much. She's always smiling. Even when she's angry, she smiles. I mean, I love her.
She's a hugger.
She is a hugger.
Right.
I'd love to hug her.
So what did you think of this match? Because I thought, we'll talk about what happened after the match later.
Yeah.
This match, I thought was so good because Carmella actually surprised me here.
Mm-hmm. There was a point where she questioned, though. Remember when she threw Bayley out of the ring and she's like, I want to check her to see she's okay, but the ropes are there, jump.
I thought that was brilliant. That was great storytelling on her part.
Perfect. It was so perfect because I thought at first she was going to go out the ring and make sure she was okay, but then she just, hell with it. She just ran. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And then she did it again.
Mm-hmm.
And with the splash of the ropes. And it was like, she really surprised me because I didn't know she was that good.
She was amazing. Now that's wrestling. That is.
There's another thing with her. I'm sorry. I keep going to Breaking Ground, but something happened to her. The episode before that one, at the end of it, she was wrestling Eva Marie, and Eva Marie legitimately kicked her in the head hard, and she actually got a concussion, and she had to sit out for a few weeks. Carmella.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was so impatient, and she was wanting to get back in the ring and everything. And then the next episode, she was actually able to get back in the ring and stuff. So it's kind of cool that now, seeing that and this.
Eva Marie is such a minus for the company, I swear.
I agree. I don't see it. Evidently, they see something we don't, though.
I don't think so. I mean, they put Titus O'Neil on a 60-day suspension, which was dumb. I mean, they let what happened on Raw this past week happen on Raw. I got to question whether people know who they want to keep or not. Just saying.
Back to the good ones, though. Carmella,
yes.
she was really surprising here, and for reversals left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and she almost won a few times.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the devolution that they claim is happening in Raw, that died when Charlotte got the belt and all the bullshit started happening. The devolution's right here in NXT.
Exactly
It's
where it
still
started.
going on.
Yep. I agree.
It's gone in WWE. It's in NXT. You want to see Divas Evolution, you watch NXT. You watch the two women's matches each night or each show.
Right.
Man, you will understand.
Yeah. And do you realize that if you made a full show like a SmackDown or something, a 2-hour show, that's actually 4 women's matches across those 2 hours?
Which, of course, they would cut down to about 3. You know they won't do 4 women's matches.
Still, though, I mean, that's basically what we're getting, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That is.
They're always awesome matches. But this one was, it was so good, so close, and, of course, Bayley won in the end. But then what happened?
She did the AJ Styles thing. Like, there was the roll-up pin 1-2, and then she just rolled her back up and just overcame her by a 1-second.
Yeah.
But then, speaking of the pain in the ass, I can't wrestle. I hate her guts more than I hate freaking. And you know what bugs me? Where the hell is what's her name?
Who?
Sky. It's not Sky. The ugly girl that was that was going after Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, Summer?
Yeah, Summer Rae disappeared. But we still have Eve Marie. Bring Summer Rae back. Fire Eve Marie. This girl may look good, but man, she sucks.
But, I mean, she was just out there for Nia Jax. She brought
Nia Jax came out and beat up. They threw Bayley out of the ring. Then they beat up on Carmella. Eve was beat. And everybody's saying it, man. Everybody's cheering. You can't wrestle. You can't do shit. But nobody likes Eve Marie. Please fire her or put her as a manager.
But aside from Eva Marie, put that out of the way because she was just there to say sicker, basically. Nia Jax, leg drops and everything, but then out comes Asuka.
Asuka.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Asuka in the ring facing off against Nia Jax. And it's like, what's going to happen? This is so awesome. It reminded me of, like, I don't know, it reminded me of, like, Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle or, like, Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong.
Either one backed down. They would just... she's standing there smiling. She took a couple of steps forward. Nia Jax didn't move a muscle. I love her hair, by the way.
Asuka's?
Asuka. Oh, man, I love her rainbow hair. But anyway, it's probably a wig. But, man, that was such a good... And then Eve is the one that actually backed out of the ring with her.
Yeah, Eva Marie.
Man, I love it. Man. It was
I love what happened next, though. Bayley's standing in there with the title, and Asuka turns around, touches the title, and then just kind of walks out with that creepy smile. It's like, yeah, I came in and saved her, but I'm coming for you. I
think what we're going to get in the end is going to be Eve Marie and Nia Jax versus Bayley and Asuka, and either they will heel turn Asuka, which I pray they don't do, or Bayley and Asuka will win, and they'll do what they did with Carmella and Bayley. Hey, we're friends. I want the title now, and she'll give her title shot, and then we'll see if Asuka can beat Bayley.
Or triple threat: Bayley, Nia, and Asuka.
I wonder if Eve would get involved so that Nia could get the belt, but then that makes no sense because there is no way she could beat Nia Jax for the belt.
Yeah. Maybe Eva Marie would try to get involved, and Carmella would come down and stop her.
That would make sense. Yeah. I think Eva Marie's stupid if she's really trying to get Nia Jax to get the belt, because if their storyline for her is, if Nia gets the belt, then I could fight her and she'll let me win, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just hope to goodness they don't put that belt on Eva Marie. That would be awful.
No, I don't think they ever will, because the fans aren't behind her. If you notice, the fans are very, very hard behind Carmella, very hard behind Bayley, especially Asuka. I think if anybody's going to get that belt next, it's going to be Asuka.
But they would hate Eva Marie as champion, and that might be enough for them to put it on her. They would hate it.
But why would you want people to hate it?
Well, because they would equate that to being a heel. If she's getting a reaction, then that's a good thing, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, but she can't wrestle, so how is she going to defend it? That's the problem. Yeah. I mean, for a time, maybe a month or something, which is about 2 or 3 shows, yeah, but after that, I would say that she'd have to lose it. There's no way she could hold that belt for like 6 months without somebody getting hurt or her not wrestling, basically.
Yeah. Unless they reduce Nia Jax to a bodyguard that gets involved and costs her opponents the match every time.
I don't
which
want
I hope is not the case because
I don't want that. That would ruin
that's a
NXT.
TNA thing.
That would ruin NXT. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
there are very few things in this world that would ruin NXT. And I'm telling you, if they give Eve Marie the belt and do what you say, that's going to ruin NXT for the women's division. Not the men's division, but the women's division. And if you want this devolution to keep going, you give Asuka a shot at Bayley next. Or you do a triple threat with Nia Jax, Asuka, and Bayley and let Asuka or Bayley win. You don't, or Nia Jax. Just don't let Nia Jax give Eve Marie the belt.
Oh, that would be awful. So
I'd rather the other way. Nia
Yeah.
Jax gets the belt and Eve Marie is her bodyguard or the person that makes sure she keeps it.
yeah, I would prefer that too. But speaking of the men's side of things, Samoa Joe ends the show talking about Sami Zayn. They're going to fight next week.
Yeah, Sami Zayn talked at the beginning of the show about
Right, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be a really good match.
It's going to be next week, yeah?
Yeah, next week or this week. Technically.
This week now. Yeah, this is going up on Monday this week, guys. We're recording it on Sunday night. So, no, I'm excited for it. I'm honestly, okay, tonight's Sunday.
Mhm.
Tomorrow's Raw, and Wednesday's NXT, which I usually watch Friday right before or Saturday when we record this. So, honestly, for the next couple of days, I won't be seeing NXT. So, tomorrow's Raw. I am so,
It
I
better
don't know
be
if I'm
better.
ready.
It better be better than last week. That's all I got to say. It's got to be better.
Yeah, I agree.
We're
It better be. If there,
no, go ahead.
No, you go. I was saying,
I was just saying we're so close to WrestleMania at this point.
And they're disappointing us left and right with the writing, and we're getting recycled matches. If I see Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens tomorrow, I will turn. No, I'm not joking. I will turn off Raw. It better not be the opening match, because then I swear to God, I'll watch a live audio feed, or not audio feed, a live written feed where people will write what's going on live from Raw. Because there is no way, a live tweet session, I don't care. I am not watching another rinse and repeat Raw.
Yeah.
I'm not watching another one.
At least make it a tag team match. If you're gonna have them on there facing each other, at least make it a tag team match. Do something different.
Please. Oh God, if I see another one, then don't do it for the pay-per-view. If you're doing it tomorrow night, I hope to God you have a better idea for the pay-per-view, or else your pay-per-view sucks before we even watch it. I might not even watch that match if it's at the pay-per-view.
Is the pay-per-view next weekend or is it the weekend after? I don't remember. I'll let you know.
21st, right?
Okay, then that's next weekend.
Next weekend.
Okay. Cool.
Next
So there'll be an
We
extra.
have several weeks. Yeah, we have 5 weeks until the following pay-per-view.
Okay. Then there will be an extra episode of 1, 2, 3.
Yes, there will be on Monday morning. So we should try to get NXT by Saturday. So this way we'll have it for Sunday morning. So
All right.
that's what we're gonna do. So good. I get to watch NXT early, so I can wash away all of what's gonna happen tomorrow.
There you go. But that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode.
Yep.
As we approach the 45-minute mark.
No. That's the plan. It's 30 to 45 minutes, which is a good.
And that's what I'm saying. We're winding down. We talked about all the matches, the best part of wrestling in the week, every week.
Please, yes. It was the best. It was the best. The only good thing I could think of from WWE was the tag match with AJ and Chris Jericho, which they won, and then the match between Jericho and AJ where Jericho won. So now we got to see where that rivalry is going to go.
Is that from SmackDown?
SmackDown.
Okay, I didn't watch it yet.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. You don't watch it. That's why I'm not worried about spoilers, because you're going to watch Raw tomorrow and you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, this all happened. Hooray.
Right. It's cool. Still, I might go back and watch the AJ Styles match.
It was. I'll tell you this. It was good. And watch the tag match also. You'll like that.
Okay, cool.
It was very good.
All right. So next time you'll see us, it'll be talking about Raw, and again, hopefully it's better.
Oh, God. God give me strength for the next episode at least.
All right. So check out everything else we're involved with, of course. Come at Frontline, Dr. Avenger C86, Zone 4 Podcast, and Last Number Press. Almost forgot Last Number Press.
Oh, you almost forgot it.
And Where's My Tail? Our countdown is actually going to be late this week, by the way. So.
And Brooklyn Boys 13. We don't have a 360 this weekend because Valentine's Day, Mike was working, so.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, I got some truffles.
Nice. I got a card. You can't eat that.
Can't eat that. I got some Twix too.
Congratulations.
And a book. A cookbook.
Hey, maybe that's a hint. Maybe the people want you to cook.
It's a Nerdy Nummies cookbook. It's awesome.
Maybe they want you to cook.
Some nerdy treats.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Alright, so until next time, guys, we
Take
are tapping
care,
out.
Bye. Leave comments below. Let us know what you guys thought of NXT
Yes.
this week if you watched it. I think this is an excellent show. I know a lot of people prefer it, so love to hear what you guys thought of this past episode.
Absolutely. So leave those in the comments below, and we will see you next time right here on 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Later, guys.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.